Some of the modeling suggests that our efforts have been paying dividends. Now is not the time to let our guard down and pretend that things are back to normal.
Alabama Governor Kay Ivey saying social distancing is imperative in the coming days if we want businesses across the state to be back up and running. More than 264,000 people filing for unemployment in the last 4 weeks. That number has more than doubled from a year ago.
Meanwhile, the death toll in Mobile County now stands at 17 reported deaths, more than any other county in the state. 12 of those deaths directly attributable to C-19. So far, Mobile police have given out 19 tickets to curfew violators since that enforcement started last week. That's more than any other city in the state with a curfew. A citywide stay-at-home order is still in place. And Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson holding his daily pandemic briefing, but today using Facebook to talk to the media. Our Tyler Finger joining us now live downtown with the latest. And Tyler, as we just reported, the mayor is very serious about MPD cracking down on curfew violators.
Yeah, hey, good afternoon, Byron. The mayor is serious about this along with Mobile Police. Since Mobile Police were able to start enforcing the curfew last Tuesday, they have made 121 stops, and of those, wrote 19 tickets and gave 102 people warnings. This is the most of any city in the state that has a curfew. The fine for failing to follow that 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew in Mobile is $100 for the first offense and $200 if you do it again. And we just spoke to Mobile Police Chief Lawrence Batiste just moments ago about this, and he says they're continuing to take this coronavirus curfew seriously.
We're looking for voluntary compliance, and so we haven't written a lot of citations. I mean, if you're thinking about 2 or 3 citations per night, again, you know, there are people that are out there that are not following the rules, but there are quite a few people that are traveling back and forth again to work because they may work in the healthcare profession or they may work in critical infrastructure, and so I can't say that other communities aren't stopping people, but what I can say is that we have an ordinance, and it doesn't do any good to have an ordinance if you're not going to do anything to at least attempt to enforce what you have in place.
And the chief just told me during that interview that they're stopping about 18 to 20 people a night and averaging about 2 to 3 tickets or citations a night as well. And they say that if they continue to run the same people, they are going to continue ticketing them. Their goal is, again, voluntary compliance here, again, to hopefully reduce the spread and slow the spread of the coronavirus. Reporting live outside Mobile Police Headquarters in Mobile, Tyler Finger, Fox 10 News.
And Mobile City Council members also holding a meeting to talk about the virus, though none of them were actually in the council chamber. Instead, a virtual meeting was live streamed with all of the council members in remote locations. Our Steve Alexander is joining us from the studio with more on what that all looked like. Steve?
Yeah, without a doubt, something you don't see very often. You have to look kind of closely on who's talking to see, but there's a screen there with 9 boxes. The quality sometimes goes in and out, 1 each with the 7 council members, 1 with the city clerk, 1 with the city budget director. Now, the mayor was not at the city council meeting today. Administration officials say he was having COVID-19 related conferences. One of the big topics, though, was looking at the future of businesses in Mobile. Some businesses have closed temporarily, others, like some restaurants, offering takeout or delivery only. Councilmember Fred Richardson said before there's any consideration to reopening the economy in his mind, the line showing virus cases and deaths need to be flattened and start going down. But that hasn't happened. Now, City Council member John Williams said elected officials need to make that decision based on listening to people who understand both the economy and the health risk.
And as long as that line is going up, we need to leave the economy alone and stay in our houses. When the line makes a curve and start down, somewhere in that range is when we need to start talking about opening up the economy.
But if we're waiting around on health officers to tell us when we can go back to work, it'll be a long time, and I'm not sure that they understand the economy.
Now, no decisions were made at the city council meeting when or how to reopen the economy. Just yesterday, you might remember the mayor told business leaders that he had not heard any ideas that he thought he could completely embrace. Reporting live, Steve Alexander, Fox 10 News.
All right, Steve. And Alabama Governor Kay Ivey saying today that her stay-at-home order is working, but warning now is not the time to start pulling back from the restrictions imposed to help fight the spread of this virus.
All indicators suggest that it is working. And I cannot overemphasize enough the importance. In fact, it is imperative that we keep doing what we are doing.
The governor saying she'll start consulting with her coronavirus task force about how to restart the economy, adding she's asked all 7 members of the state's U.S. House of Representatives delegation to offer recommendations for their districts. The state health officer, Scott Harris, also at today's briefing, and he said he's confident hospitals will be able to handle the number of COVID-19 cases at the peak of the virus, which is expected to hit at around April 20th.
All right, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers in the state. There are now nearly 3,900 confirmed cases in Alabama. The number of reported deaths now at 110, which includes another death in Baldwin County today. The county now has recorded 2 deaths, but it's not clear if the virus was the cause of both of those deaths.